and it's you and me, and we're at ACAC, and we're going to have a yoga practice that's a little bit more on the vigorous side. I'm
Okay.
calling this a vinyasa practice rather than a hatha practice. A hatha practice is when you hold the poses for a little longer, and the vinyasa is a little bit more flowing. I think the vinyasa will be good for you to get your energy and your heart rate up slightly.
Okay.
All right?
I should take my shoes off.
You can leave your shoes on or leave them off, but if you've got your shoes off, we can work with the feet a little bit. So Kathy, in terms of your back, is it low back, mid back, or upper back that you are experiencing?
What I'm experiencing is a lot of low back and into my left hip down. Yeah, it goes down there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know what this is, I've been feeling in here is sore.
Are you? I can't see, but I think you're rubbing your thighs.
No, it's my tummy to the right and the left. Yeah, in there.
Okay.
It feels like it's all connected. I don't know whether it is or not.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's what I figured.
let's start with hands together and just a moment to notice the breath. You can notice the inhale and the exhale. Take a hand to your tummy and a hand to the heart and notice the movement of the breath in the chest and the belly. If you exaggerate the exhale slightly, you'll feel the belly sort of draw in on the exhale. On the inhale, the chest rises and the belly gently responds too. So the breathing, the trunk is the breathing apparatus, the breathing container for the breath. The exhale, everything sort of draws in slightly. The inhale, everything expands. Let's take our hands to the belly and give them a little, give the belly a little rub. Thank you, belly. You can take your hands to the outside of your legs and sweep upwards to the lower back, upwards to the lower back, and you're kind of connecting the legs into the trunk, legs into the trunk, legs into the trunk. And then go ahead and pause here for a moment and give the low back a little rub. Just warming everything up before we start the practice. And then we'll begin with some spine mobility, and then we'll take it to a little bit more vigor. Take your hands to your knees and round the back. Bow the head, and then change that so the head looks up. There's a slight puffing of the chest out. Your elbows sort of point back a little bit, and then follow the breath for several cycles. So you exhale as you round, so there's a squeeze of the trunk, and then inhale as you round, you expand. The elbows can go a little bit wide when you exhale and you round the back because the arms can respond too. As you slide the elbows back, there's a rounding and arcing the other way. Keep this going a couple more breath cycles. Inhaling as you expand. Exhaling as you gently fold. Inhale one more time, expand. And let's take the hands wide too. And then I'd like you to draw forward, and this time give yourself a hug. As you expand, the palms face this way and your hands go towards the back of the chair. And then the hands come together, there's a little hug, and then expand. So we're adding, I'm turning sideways so you see I've got an arc at the back, and then I'm rounding. You don't have to turn sideways, I just wanted you to see me, see my back.
Mm-hmm.
couple of times like this. And then put the hands to the thighs or to the chair. we're still working with mobility, flexibility of the spine. Take one hand, it doesn't matter which one, to the chair frame so you're nice and steady, and lean in that direction. You've got the chair to support you, so your trunk is on an angle. And then stay for a moment and then come back up, right yourself, change so the other hand is on the chair frame. The free hand is on your hip and you lean towards the hand that's on the chair frame. Perfect. Come up. We're going to change it so that we're going back to that first side. This free hand, instead of being on the hip, is going to point forward, and you can come forward like this and then come up. That hand changes to the frame. Free hand waves at me and then tip towards the hand that's on the chair. Come back up. Now, two hands together. The leading hand, one hand to the other, that one goes back and it's going to lead you into a spiral. And then come back, both hands facing my way. One hand continues to wave.
I'm going to have to change this.
Okay.
Okay, so like this.
Mm-hmm. Waving at the camera. Now one hand slides back and look towards that hand as the other hand waves at me. Come back to center. You can inhale here, other hand leads this, and the first hand waves at the camera. Look towards the hand that's behind you. Come back to center. We'll go a couple more times. Exhale as you twist. Inhale as the hands point at the camera. One hand continues to wave at the camera as the other one slides back. We'll go ahead and inhale at center, exhale as you lead with one hand. Come back to center on the inhale and use the exhale to slide. Go a couple more times. It's challenging the arms, yes. If you look in the direction that you're moving towards the hand that's going back, it'll help turn the shoulders slightly. You're looking for the legs and the pelvis to be steady. You follow the hand back with your view. You doing all right? I'm definitely adding some vigor to the workout. One more time to each side. And then bring both hands down, settle them on the thighs. Pat the thighs. We're going to ask something of those thighs. Yes, we are. So we've worked with flexion and extension of the spine. We've worked with lateral, side to side, and we've worked with twists. Now we're going to start working on different parts to give you strength and vigor, vitality. You can take your hands, rest them anywhere you want. I'd like you to gently march one foot and then the other up. So the knee rises, you can tap it, knee rises, tap, knee rises, tap, 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 tap. Keep that going, tap, 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 tap. Keep going. Couple more times. Do you have a dog?
I do. She's barking.
She thinks you're saying, "Come here, sweetie."
Yeah, she's quite something.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She's a sweetie.
I feel short. Now, hold on to, now I want you to use your arms. You go, swing them like this. Swing, you can bend at the elbow. Swing, 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 swing. Slow it down just a little bit because we're gonna add the swing, the march of the opposite leg. So as one elbow comes up, the other knee comes up. As the other, so opposite, contralateral. One knee, the other arm. Yep, keep going. You're looking to have the trunk stay steady. That's the challenge. You're looking for the spine and the back, the trunk, head, shoulders, and pelvis to stay steady in space as you do this gentle movement. You can make it as
We had the pest guy here right before we got started, and she got a lot of excitement over seeing him.
Aww. Now, let's go on the same side. Hold on to the chair with one hand, and I want you to take the same knee and the same hand up and down. 3, 4 times. And then that hand comes to the chair frame. That'll give you a little more support. And then the other hand and knee come up and down. 3, 4 times. And then now, want the opposite leg and the opposite hand. And then kick, and then come down. Opposite hand. So if it's a left hand, it's a right knee, and then down. And now we're changing it, both hands to the chair. And then you kick one foot out 3, 4 times. And then that foot lands on the ground, other foot out. 3, 4 times. Now, one hand, opposite leg, kick out and come back down, kick out and come back down, kick out, come back down, 3, 4 times, and then change legs. One leg, opposite arm, out and come back down, out and come back down. You can flex the foot, or you can point, or you can change between the two. Point, flex, flex, point. And then let's come back to marching arms. Go 2 more times, 1, 2, and then both hands up and palms facing each other. And you're going to go widen the elbows and then bring the hands back. Widen the elbows and bring the hands back to face each other. It's like you've got sticky putty between the hands and you're stretching it wide and you're bringing it back together. Remember sticky putty and how elastic it was? You could stretch it and then it would just fold, slide back together. We'll go about 4 or 5 more times. Sitting tall, feet well purchased on the ground so the heels are connected. There's a little press of the feet into the floor which helps you sit taller. Next time you go, not one more time, next time you go wide, pause there, and then have a sense of hands up like a cowboy western, hands up like a cowboy western, hands up, and then the hands come all the way together, palms in front of the face, and settle here for a moment. Hands parallel, and there's a gentle stretch of the, pleasantly so, of the ligaments of the wrists and hands, the hands settling to each other. We're headed into versions of chair pose. Cathy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this the yoga room, there's a
Yeah.
computer and a camera that sits there. Well, the camera was, which is not my camera. My laptop is on top of that laptop that usually sits there. The camera is moving around like it's looking at us. It's very funny. It's going.
Ah.
All right. So, chair pose, you're going to want to take your feet a little bit back so that I'm turning sideways. I don't want your I want your shins a little further back, the knees a little past the toes, because as you swing up towards me, you're going to bring a little weight to the feet. So it's and I'm going to turn sideways. You do not have to. You can stay where you are. And as you do this, don't look at me the whole time. So as you tip forward, your gaze will go down. So as you come, you will look towards out, and then as you come back to seated, your gaze goes up. So my gaze goes down, and then it goes back up. Does that make sense? So your head and neck stay in line with each other. So your arms, everything comes out. How many times should we do this, Kathy?
We usually do it like 10 times.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Is that good?
Yeah, so and your arms can kind of swing and help. It's like being on a swing. 1, and then they swing back down. 2. I'm coming back to face you. 3, and remember to look down even when you're up, so because the camera was going to want to keep your eyes. 5, 6. Perfect. Look at you. 7. It's pretty demanding, Kathy. You're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we could get to 100. 9. 10. And then this time we're going to come all the way up to standing. Woohoo! Yay! Okay. Let's take the chair and do a little balance work, all right? I'm going to actually change my camera angle a little bit so I don't have to be quite so far away, because I want the volume to still be good. Great. Yeah, that's perfect. Kathy, you're doing great.
Am I really?
Kathy, your energy level and just like
It's good.
yeah, and the energy in your physical body looks so much more, rejuvenated. So that's so good to see. I'm really
That's what the physical therapist said. He said the first time he saw me, the first 2 sessions, I was so frail and so weak, and now it's like night and day. It's so different.
That's great. All right, the foot closest to your chair, which should be your left foot, I want you to just use the chair as you need to, but try to keep your hold on the chair light, and bring up just the heel, and kind of negotiate that, right?
Okay.
Bring up the ball of the foot so you can touch with your toe and see how that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then see if you can draw the knee up and take the free hand to the heart. Yeah, and then look up a little bit and see if you can stay here for about 10, 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and place the foot, toe, ball of the foot, heel back down. Hand down by the side. See if you can let go of the chair for a moment and just stand tall like it's Tadasana. We're going to go again. Hand to the heart, chair if you need it. Bring the heel up, but this time the knee will slide out to the side. You can look down and see if you can get your heel snuggled into the ankle and the ball of the foot's on the floor. And once you've gotten that established and you feel comfortable, you can draw that gaze back up. Sit tall, maybe even look over the camera, because that camera will draw, that gaze down will draw your head down. So standing tall. You can play with lightening the hold on the chair or bringing both hands to the heart. Look at you go, Cathy, and standing tall, looking at something at eye height or a little above. Tree pose. If this is comfortable, and you can glance down for a minute if you'd like, I'm going to bring my hands up a little higher. And then you can play with that separating of the hands. Of course, you can take a hand to the chair, and the hands, the palms aspire to face forward. Tree pose. The roots grow deep and the branches grow high. This is definitely in the Hatha yoga style of just holding the pose, looking for endurance and balance. You're doing great. And then bring the hands back together to the heart, hand to the chair, release the foot to the floor, stand tall in Tadasana. Ah, so nice to see you working on your balance, Cathy. Now we're going to turn to the chair and shift it to the other side so we can both face each other. Perfect. The first one was with the hand closest to the chair, which I think should be your right foot, and the left heel comes up. The left ball of the foot comes up and maybe just touch the toe. If you're feeling stable enough, you can raise the knee. You can just hover the foot over the floor or raise the knee quite high depending on what you want to do on any particular day. And then bring the free hand to the heart and look above the camera. And if you want to bring both hands to the heart or just lighten the hold on the chair, whatever suits you today, in this moment, whenever the next time you watch the video. Yeah, perfect. If you were to extend your foot out and catch your toe, this would be called head to toe pose. And then hand to the heart, hand to the chair, and let the foot shape back to the ground. Stand equally on both feet and the hands rest by the sides in Tadasana. You can always have a hand on the chair, or if it's one of those days where you feel more stable, the hands can be at the sides. Every day is different. And then we're shifting into tree pose. The same knee comes up and swings to the side. Go ahead and take a look down and see if you can make your heel snuggle into your ankle, the toe, the ball of the foot on the floor, and then bring the head back up to stand tall. This is plenty, but if it's one of those days where you want to challenge yourself, you can bring the hands to the heart. You can raise the hands. You can separate the hands and let the palms face forward so that your arms become more like outreached branches. The gaze comes over the camera, stand tall. Nice, Cathy. Of course, at any point, take a hand to the chair if you need it. So when you want challenge, you set up challenge for yourself. When you want a little, an extra support, you have the extra support there to keep your form good. The roots grow deep, anchored to the center of the earth, and the branches grow high. And that you can use that cue of hands up like a cowboy western. And then bring the hands back together. The free hand, just your hand to the heart, foot to the floor, stand in Tadasana. Let's stand to face the chair and bend your knees at any point. I want you to walk back. This is a setup for a version of downward facing dog. You only go as far as you're comfortable. Your legs do not have to be straight. Your arms are straight though. They're giving you support. You're trying to keep your head and neck in line with your upper back. So if Your shoulders let you come to this angle. Your neck is in line with your upper back. Your chin is slightly tucked, or skull is slightly bowed. If your shoulders allow, you can walk the feet further back and bend the knees slightly and send the tail back, lengthening the back, lengthening the back, lengthening the back. Stay here for a breath or two. The tail is stretching back, the belly is scooped up. And then take your time, walk your hands back towards the chair. Come up to standing. Look above the computer so you can stand tall. Come back, walk the feet back towards the chair. Come back up to standing tall. Take the gaze up over the up to something at eye height. And then, Cathy, we're going to set up the next pose, which is a series of Warrior One poses. Lift your right foot and step it back slightly. So you're in a split stance. You can move the feet wide or narrow. Okay? And then the front knee slightly bends. And you're looking for this front shin to be straight up and down. And then take one hand to the heart or two hands to the heart so it looks like this. One hand to the heart or two hands to the heart. You can still face in this way, Cathy. Don't have to move. So you can keep your hands here, or you can take a hand here and then it's bend the knee forward, lift the arms, hands up, straighten the front leg, the hands come together. I'm going to face you so you see what I mean. You can come wide with the knee bent and then close the hands. I'll turn my chair back to face you. So it's wide with the knee bent and then straighten the front leg and the arms close. Wide and close. Wide and close. Wide. Warrior One. And straighten the leg and the hands come together. The hands separate, the front knee bends, come back together. One more time. And then straighten the legs, take the hands down, step the back foot forward. We're setting up for the second side. Your other foot should be your left foot goes back. You're in a split stance. One leg is back, one leg is forward. The front knee is slightly bent. So the front knee is slightly bent, and then the hands come to the heart. You can keep one hand on the chair if you want, and then you straighten the front leg and the arms go wide. You bring the hands back together, and the knee bends. Straighten the front leg and the arms go wide, and back together. Keep this going. I'm going to face you. Keep this going. I'm going to face you. As long as you're comfortable, of course. At any point, if something says, oh, I need to stop or I need to do something else, then you do that. You can inhale wide, the knee bends. You can bring the hands back together and the front knee straightens. Two more times like this. Wide. And straighten the leg, the arms come back together. One last time. And then hands come back together. Elbows drop down the center line. The hands come to the chair. Step the back foot forward. Okay. And let's come back to one more downward facing dog. So it would be stepping the feet back, bending the knees slightly and sending the tail back, stretching arms strong and long like scaffolding. The gaze is down at the mat. We'll just be here for a breath or two, Cathy, and then walk the feet back towards the chair to come back to standing. Bring the chair to that first side, and we're going to step the feet wide, and you're facing me, all right? Chair is on one side, feet are in a V. Tip the toes in slightly, so they're tipped in, and then I want you to weight the foot away from the chair, which should be your right foot, and turn the other foot so the toes point directly at the chair.
So it's my left.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then, all right.
And then take the free right hand to your hip, and it's a triangle pose, so you can use the chair back in any way that you wish to just fold a little bit right at the hip crease. If you want to take the top hand and point gesture towards me if that feels supportive, but you can also leave the hand on the hip.
Does this look right?
Yes. And
okay.
Then, yeah. So it's triangle pose. The full version of triangle pose is something like this.
Okay, my right arm will not go up.
Yeah, I just wanted you, I know that you're accustomed to yoga, so I wanted to make sure you knew what pose we were aiming
Yeah.
And then come back to standing, feet are facing forward, heel, toe, step the feet back together. We're going to go back to shift, we're going to carefully shift the chair to the other side. Face this direction when you're ready, and then step the feet apart. So we're here, and then we step the feet apart. Tip the toes in just a little bit. Leave that foot that's away from the chair, which should be your left foot, still as you turn the right toes to point towards the chair. Turn the pelvis back to face me, shoulders too, and then it's a lean, a slide into triangle pose. You're folding at this front hip crease, and should be your left hip is kicking back. Your left hip is kicking back. If you're comfortable here, stay here with your hand on your hip. If you want to take your free left arm and point at me, you can say, "Hi, Garnet." And Cathy, work with your shoulders. Use the hand that's on the chair. If you want to swing that hand up and over the head, you're welcome to. If your shoulders don't do that,
it won't go.
Stay waving at me. "Hi, Garnet." And then bring that hand back to the hip. Come up to standing. Reparallel the feet. Heel, toe, the feet back together. Perfect. And we're going to shift the chair back so we can sit in it, seated, tipping the camera slightly. And then take your time, bend the knees, and come to an athletic stance with your hands on the knees. And just linger here for a moment. And then we'll come all the way down to seated. Take your hands to your hips. Slide your feet wide. It's going to challenge those hips. Your knees are looking to move behind you. Yep. Goddess pose. Bring the heels up and down, up out to the ends of your knees and bring your, not straight out, but about 45 degrees out, sort of in line with your thighs. And then bend the elbows and have the palms facing me. Yeah. And then slide the backs of your hands towards the wall behind you. Backs of your hands slide towards the wall behind you. It should spread the chest, the collarbone a little bit broader and wider. And then release the hands, the elbows down towards the waist, hands to the knees and to the hips. Heel toe, the feet back to a comfortable hip distance apart. We're headed into a little bit of pelvis raising. So your hands slide to the chair back. I've got my hands on the chair. I was just showing you. I'm going to slide my elbows towards the chair behind me so I can lean back and have my arms behind me. And then my head, I'm looking towards the camera. I'm looking forward. My biceps, my upper arms are rotated back. My shoulder blades are sliding in towards the back behind me, towards the spine. And then see if you can bring the pelvis up into a bridge. The upper arms are rotated back at any point if that's too much.
Are you doing a bridge, Garnet?
Yes, I am. Let me turn
Okay.
You can see, you don't have to turn sideways, but I want you to see what it looks like. I'm towards the edge of my chair.
Yeah.
Chair, and then I'm tucking my arms behind me, and my elbows are bending a little bit behind me, so that my arms are pretty straight. I'm trying to keep my shoulders from not coming up too high, and then I'm pressing with my feet, and I'm aspiring to lift my pelvis. I'm looking straight forward. It's easier on the head and neck. And come back down. And if that's going well, let's do how's that going, Kathy?
All right.
All right.
It's just a small movement to come up.
You use your glutes in the back of your leg. It's a stretch through the top of the thigh. It's a small movement, but it's pretty. It's not a small effort.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
So make sure your upper arm feels safe. Your shoulder blades and shoulders are sliding away from the ears. Your arms are pretty straight and supported. And I'm looking at you just to make sure it's going well. Because when I'm faced that way, I can't see. Yeah, that looks great, Kathy. Just keep your eyes towards the wall in front of you, towards this side of the room. Yeah, you don't need to tip up your head. The shoulders are releasing away from the ears. You can come up and stay for a count of 1, 2, 3, and then come down. Come up and stay for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back down. We'll come up and stay for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. And let's get to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back down. Now we're going to go the other way. Come up, we'll count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back down. Come up.
Now, I can't get that high up.
Oh, that's okay, Kathy. You come up to whatever height is good.
Okay, because I'm coming up pretty slow.
Just to slightly bring the pelvis up, even that.
Yeah, that's.
You feel it all back here. That should be good.
Okay.
Kathy, that looks great.
Does that look all right?
Yeah. Drop your chin just a little bit as you come up. So as you come up like this, you're tipping your chin up. You can drop the chin and just look straight forward.
Okay.
Yeah, see if that's easier on the head and the neck.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Great. All right. Come back to holding the chair, and I want to march the legs. March the knees high, 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 high. We're gonna add the opposite arm, so this leg, this arm, opposite arm and leg. You can use the exhale as you lift. Perfect. Keep going. We're going to change it. We're going to try walking the feet away from each other. Ooh. The feet, the knees are walking out, and then have them walk back towards each other. And they can come really tight. Opposite hand, opposite knee. So left knee, right hand. You've gone to the same side. You'll have better back, you won't have to work as hard if you do opposite knee and opposite hand. You kind of have to always sort of remind yourself, opposite, opposite, opposite. And then we'll walk wide. Take your time. Knees go wide. You don't have to go as wide as me. And then walk the knees back, feet, legs closer together so it's a more narrow stance. And then walk them back wide one more time. Sort of like a little marionette. Narrow, marching. And then come back together. Take the hands together, lace the fingers, send the hands down, out, and stretch the palms towards me. Make the arms straight, straight, straight. Spring the hands open and slide them back towards the chair. Slide your shoulder blades towards one another and spread the collarbone. So you're spreading. Come back forward, and I want you to take your hands to your knees, round the back. Come back up, hold on to the chair frame. Bring the legs together, bring the heels up, and this is a version of boat pose. See if you can rock the back and lift the feet off the floor and dab the feet to the floor. Let's say 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then feet to the floor. Slide the hands, swim the hands back around to the knees, around the back. Roll up to seated. I want you to turn your head, keep your feet, knees, and pelvis still. Turn the head to your right. Keep the feet, knees, and hips still. Turn the shoulders to the right too. Bring the head back to look at me. Let the shoulders come back. Come back to look this direction. Feet, knees, hips, stay still. Turn the gaze to the left. Turn the shoulders, the chest, the heart to the left. The hips, knees, feet, stay still. Only bring the head back this way, and then bring the shoulders. Take the hands to the heart. Head to the left, shoulders, hands, heart to the left, the feet, knees, pelvis stay steady, turn back this way. Head to the other direction. Hands, heart, shoulders in that same direction. It's a small movement, and then come back everything centered. We're gonna come to a forward fold, Cathy. Go ahead and bring your elbows to your knees. You can widen your feet if you need to and wiggle around on the chair so you feel supported. Bow the head. Let the back of the head fall towards the floor. Give the head a little shake. Give the shoulders a little shimmy. We're gonna come up, but I want you to bring your head up last. Head comes up last, drop the tailbone towards the floor, roll up to seated. Bring the head up last. Take the hands out to 45 degrees. Turn the palms over, bring the hands to the heart. Cathy, let's try crossing the right ankle over the left and coming back to a forward fold like this. Your hands, elbows can settle on your knees. Bow the head. Bring the head up last, roll up to seated. Hold on to the chair frame if you need to. Change the ankle so that the other ankle crosses over. There's a gentle lift of the heart and then a folding forward. Your elbows can settle on your knees, bow the head. The head comes up last, roll up to seated. And Cathy, we've got about 7, 8, maybe more minutes. What else would you need, like, my dear?
You know, I don't know. Everything you're doing that we're doing works.
Yay!
So do you have something that you think?
Let's do.
What about the child's pose?
Well, the forward fold is a lot like a child's pose.
That's what I thought, actually.
Yeah.
Well, anything else that?
The child's pose is lovely. We could take it a little bit more deeply if you are. It might be really great for the back. Let's try taking the child's pose. I can't see you from waist down, so you'll have to tell me. But I'm going to make the camera so you can see what I'm doing and give you variations. Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to move this mat a bit.
So I'm going to do a seated child's pose. It's wonderful for the back. I'm going to face this way. So your feet are set comfortably. I think you're still there.
Yeah, here I am. I was straightening the mat. Okay, so all right.
All right, so your feet, you can sit anywhere that's comfortable in the chair. You can put your feet anywhere that's comfortable. Start by bringing the elbows here. And what's happening is you're going to bow the head, but the tail, you're lengthening the tail back, and there's a scoop of the belly. It's not overly pushed or anything. And then, Cathy, if you walk your feet together, this is one version, and they're not all the way together. They're just closer so that you can, if it's comfortable, you can take your hands to the outside of the legs. You'll have to adjust your bottom on the seat and then bow from here. If hands on 2 blocks is better, that's one way to do it.
Okay, so bend down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah. This is probably great for the back. Adjust the feet any way that feels supportive. Your trunk is sort of on your thighs, so it gives you a little bit more support than just a forward fold. And like I said, if you had 2 blocks or pillows on either side of the feet, your hands can rest there. If this is going well, Cathy, you can progress it to walking the feet a little wider and bringing your hands between your legs. and then bowing the head here. Again, a little bit of height under the hands will give you a little bit more support. And then to come up, you're going to want to bring the backs of your hands or your elbows to your knees. The head does not come up first, but you kind of roll up and bring the chest back up and sit quietly there for a moment. How did that go, Cathy?
I think that's fine.
Okay, great.
I think that works.
I'm going to grab some blocks and I'm going to show you what I mean in terms of your hands. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm off camera for just a moment. I'll be right there, Cathy. Okay. What I wanted to show you is with blocks, the first version is to have blocks here so it's more supportive. And then if you want to spread the feet, and you can have blocks on the high setting, medium setting, but it gives you a little bit more stability to have your arms on something. And then bring the head up last as you roll up. I'm coming back to the camera. So we have a couple of minutes. I wanted to just offer a Shavasana.
Okay.
Just a minute long. You can bring your hands to your thighs. Let your elbows be dropped towards the floor. Notice the breath. The shoulders are moving away from the ears. You can let the tongue drop to the bottom of the mouth. You can let the face soften. You can just think from head to tail about the length of the back and just allowing it to be soft and gentle, the muscles supportive but not overly active. The arms and legs quietly resting, nothing to do for just a minute or two. Notice the inhale, the exhale. You can take a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. Notice the inhale, the exhale. Bring both hands to the heart. Follow your inhale in just one quiet Om, Om. The Om extends the exhale. The lips come together. The inhale comes through the nose. One more whispered Om. Again, lips come together. The inhale comes through the nose. It's wonderful to have a practice with Cathy Sachs.
Same with Garnet Mellon.
The wondrous, magnificent duo that we are.
Absolutely.
But I have to learn to do a head wrap like that. All I've got is a long braid. Hey,
it's a lovely long braid.
If I put it up over my head.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Cathy, it's delightful to spend an hour with you. I feel awfully lucky.
Thank you. I feel lucky to have the time with you too. So you have an appointment, so why don't you get ready?
All right. So I'll see you next week.
Right. 2:30?
Yeah, that would be great.
2:30. Okay.
And I'll send you a link, and I'll send you this YouTube link as soon as I get to it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Namaste.
Okay.
Hi to Scott and to the puppy dog.
He doesn't hear you, but I'll let him know.
All right.